My name's Annie Blight. I'm 23 years old. I came to Australia when I was 1 year and 11 months as an adoptee.
My name is Yahya Abdul Karim. I come from Darfur, Western Sudan.
People from all over the world immigrate to Australia for different reasons. Migrants may seek asylum to escape war or other conflicts in their own countries, or simply desire a better life and to make a fresh start.
They may come to Australia for employment opportunities, better education, and the chance for freedom. Australia is one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world, with migrants representing 1/4 of the population. Many of them will have the opportunity for greater lifestyles, where they can build a better future for their families and themselves, and ultimately call Australia home.
I've always known that I was adopted ever since I could remember. I was legally adopted when I was 5 years old. I've always known that I had a biological mom in the Philippines, but I wasn't really sure if she was alive or dead. I was born premature at 7 months when I was born, and that she absconded from the hospital, and so they put out like radio interviews or radio announcements to try to find my parents and try to come and claim me, but no one really came. So I was put in the adoption house, or not really adoption house, I was put in the receiving home for children, which is like an orphanage. Since I was born premature, they didn't really have the right facilities to, like an incubator, so they had to warm up 2 Crick bottles to 1.25 liter Crick bottles with hot water and wrap it around with like towels and stuff like that just so I could get warm. She said I was very little and very skinny, and so they keep it side by side just to keep me warm. And then they said that when I first started showing meat, because I was born at 7 months, so I was 2 months premature, they said the first signs of me getting healthier and getting a bit meatier was in my cheeks.
There is war in Darfur, and then when war began in 2003, I escaped from Darfur to Chad, which is one of neighbors country to Sudan. From Chad to Niger, from Niger to Benin, from Benin to Togo, from Togo to Ghana. So I sought refugee in Ghana, and then I was in Ghana for 2 years and a half as refugee in refugee camp. And then Australia government granted me a humanitarian visa. So I came here 2007 to Australia. I escaped by myself to Ghana, and then I came with friends from Ghana to Australia. I learned basic things, very basic things in Sudan. And then when I came to Ghana, I learned a little bit of English. When I came here, I did certificate 3 in English language and certificate 4, So I'm doing it step by step to get my hand around. Yes, my family is still in Sudan, and then they still live in war zone in Darfur. When I was at primary school, I was told that Ghana is one of a peaceful country in Africa. That information is stick on my back of the mind. So that's why, when I escaped from Darfur, I want to go to Ghana. I went to Ghana as asylum seekers. And then, I applied for refugee status. Before that, they put us in prison. You call it here detention center.
Yes.
So yeah, I was in detention center for 4 months. After that, they accept me as refugee, and then they send me to refugee camp. So I was in refugee camp for 2.5 years. During that time, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees took my application and applied for resettlement countries such as Australia, USA, and Canada. I didn't have preference at that time because the life in refugee camp is very tough and difficult. Just you don't have your future is uncertain. There is no choice. I was forced to leave. Like there is just two things. There is no choice. Whether you join rebel groups in order to fight government, or you join government troops in order to kill your own people. So I decided to not join rebel groups or join government. So it is a tough choice.
I've always known that I was adopted ever since I was young. Every time, whenever my adopted parents would fly back to the Philippines, would be 2 to 4 years apart. We'd always try to track down my parents, but I would always back out because I didn't know how to accept the fact, or I didn't really understand it. When we did find my biological mom, I was 18 and we just flew in 2008, at the start of 2008. We went to the agency to, one of the places where it helps you look for people. And we told them our story and she was very interested. The social worker was very interested. And so she told the director and he allowed the trip to happen. And so we first started going to the place where I was born, which is Daraga Albay in Legazpi. And we began asking around if they knew of a Marie Joy Malate, which was my mom's name, which she put down on the hospital papers. My mother was 1 out of 9 children. She was 1 out of 2 girls, and the rest of them was all boys. So I have a really big family in that area. And so luckily the barangay captain was married to one of my relatives, and she said that I had similar features to one of the people in the village. We were having dinner, and before dinner arrived, because we went to a restaurant, I received a text message from the social worker. She's like, "Annie, we found your mom." I was like, okay. I'm like, "Mom!" Well, I said that to my adopted mom. I'm like, "Mom!" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "They found my mom!" Like, after dinner, I couldn't really eat because I was so nervous and excited about it. And after we went back to the hotel after dinner, my mom decided to ring the social worker and see all the information about her. Yeah, she was in Manila. She was living in Manila, and that I have 2 older sisters and 1 younger sister. We arrived in Manila, but we were walking around the terminal, and then she stood up, and she's like, "Oh, are you Annie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Who are you?" She goes, "I'm Clementine." I'm like, "Oh, hi!" And so I hugged her, and she started crying. I'm like, "No, don't cry." I gave her an awkward hug, pat thing, and I met my 2 sisters.
It is difficult, to come to, another country. And even, system is different, culture is different, language is different. You can say, everything is upside down. The other thing is, this one is, you can feel kind of individualism, In Sudan, you can, go to your neighbor house, even without appointment, without, telephone, I take public transport, sometimes, people ask you questions like, where do you come from? And then if you ask me this question nicely and friendly, I'm gonna answer it. But if you, ask me like, oh, where do you come from? Go back to your country. I'm not gonna ask.
In 2010, I got the opportunity to stay with my parents, my biological mother and my sisters for 2 days. We met my biological mom in a restaurant. She came with my younger sister, and that's when we went off to her place. I want to call them shanties, like little shacks or something. And yeah, I really didn't expect my mother's house to be like that, because she said that she built it on her own because she had enough money just to build something for herself, but she's proud of it. And yeah, when I saw it, I was just like really sort of shocked. It was made out of concrete, corrugated iron, wood. They only had one power supply, which they used to switch around because like they get electrical cords and then put one in, and after they used it they need to put another one in just to like turn on the light or such. My oldest sister got pregnant first at like 19, and then my second oldest sister got pregnant at 17. I haven't gotten pregnant yet, thank God. Yeah, I just felt really bad when I was showing them pictures of like my room and my house, because they're like, oh, where do you live? I'm like, oh, here. They're like, oh, wow, you must be like a princess. And I felt really, really bad because I was like, yeah, not really. But I could tell that like I pretty much was living like a princess compared to what they are living in. I still haven't found my father yet, which I would like to, so if you're out there, hi. Yeah, I've always been into drawing. I've always been known to draw myself. I've always drawn on other people as well, and which got me interested in tattoos. I thought about making it into a profession. The most important ones I have on myself would be my dream catcher, which I really like. Seeing what I have right now and where I live compared to their one, I feel extremely lucky, especially with the education and the whole job opportunities here. Another opportunity I like with Australia is that it just opens heaps of careers, like whatever you want, you can pretty much try out for.
My goal is improve my language, and then, I want to be intellectual, I want to do, after I finish diploma, I want to do international relations, Bachelor of International Relations. After that, I want to do international master in international law. And then, after that, I can do PhD too. I want to help people, I believe that, I can make difference. So, and the other thing is, as we speak here, in Darfur, every single day pass, men are killed, and kids die of malnutrition, disease, So those people, need someone to help them. So that's why, I want to do, I want to equip myself, and then, I'm going to help, people over there or here.
Do you feel like you're an Australian citizen?
Yeah, I'm going to get it in November, in this November.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You feel like you're an Australian now already though?
Yeah, I'm Australian now.